Welcome back to our urban homestead, and welcome back to another exhilarating episode for our holiday series, from Thanksgiving to Christmas kitchen traditions. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here, and I hope you're enjoying the series so far. I'm really enjoying what we've done this year. Thank you again. Big shout out to my wonderful friend and moderator, Terry, who helped me put this all together. So y'all drop her a heart or a thank you in the chat. So this, sorry, I had to pause my podcast I was listening to. So this recipe is a bread recipe. So our children's father is Italian. And on Christmas, we did like the 7 fishes and a bunch of pasta and, you know, all the things. It was a huge meal at Christmas with his family. I'm going to share with you a super easy, homemade, cheesy garlic bread. And it's made on a Italian bread loaf. Now this Italian bread, it doesn't take any time to throw together. It's honestly very simple and very good. So I hope you enjoy. That was, so that is one of my traditions from the kids' father and his family. Is Christmas, it was always just tons of food. Tons of food. So let's get into making this cheesy garlic bread. So good. Who doesn't love bread and cheese, right? Like, you can't go wrong. All right, so to start, we're gonna add 2 cups of warm water into a smaller bowl. One tablespoon of your yeast. And 2.5 teaspoons of sugar. Should have put my glasses back on. Jeez Louise. And then just want to mix that all together. And set it aside for about 5 minutes. While the yeast is blooming, I'm gonna take 2 cups of flour and put it in my mixer. And I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. Yes, I'm eyeballing it. It's fine. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can totally do this by hand. My hands just can't handle the kneading anymore. And that is not because I'm lazy, it's because I have multiple sclerosis, for those of you who don't know. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. Hopefully you guys can see. See how that yeast is nice and foamy? We're gonna pour this yeast mixture into the 2 cups of flour and salt, and then yes, with a paddle attachment. We're gonna mix that together. And then we're gonna add 3 more cups of flour, 1 cup at a time. Now, bread is one of those things, you might need 5 cups of flour one day, and you might need 5.5 the next day. It just really depends on the temperature, the humidity, all the things. I'll bring you in closer here in a minute, guys, so you can kind of see what the dough should look like. Okay, so right now it's soft but still sticky. So I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of flour, maybe. I'll start with about 2 tablespoons. I know it's weird to do bread with the paddle attachment. Just trust the process, guys. All right, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Yes. All right, so the dough is soft, but it no longer sticks, right? And that's perfect. That's what you want. Now you want to, about a tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm just kind of like coating the dough ball in that oil. And I'm going to cover this with a towel and let it rise anywhere from 15, oh, I've got some dough on my towel. Anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. If you have an hour, that's great too. But you can do it in 15 to 30 minutes. So now that the dough has risen, look how beautiful and fluffy that is. I am gonna put this onto a floured surface, and then I'm gonna cut it in half. This recipe makes 2 loaves. After baking, you can freeze one of them, and if you wrap it in saran wrap and put it in a Ziploc baggie, it will last for a good 3-4 months in your freezer. So cut the dough in half, and then I'm gonna roll each half into rectangles. I'm just gonna use my hands. I don't think you need to pull out the rolling pin for this. So flatten it out, and then I'm going to roll the dough starting at the long side, roll it together, and then you're gonna kind of like pinch the ends and tuck the ends underneath the dough. You'll see what it should look like here in a minute. And then I'm going to place it on a cookie sheet, and I'm going to put 3 little slits in the top, and I'm gonna let this rest for another 30 minutes or so. All right, so while we're waiting for the bread to rise, we're gonna make the mixture that we're gonna spread on the bread after we bake it, okay? So I've got 1 stick of softened butter here. I'm gonna take a little bit of mayonnaise. If you guys have never added mayonnaise to your butter mixture, like for those of you who make your own garlic bread or like even your grilled cheese, you're really missing out because it takes it over the top. I don't know how to explain it. It just does. So this is real Parmesan cheese in here. I just continue to refill this craft shaker. 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. You do you. We're gonna do some salt, some pepper, some Italian seasoning, just a pinch. We don't want a whole lot. Unreal. I can't. And we're gonna use some garlic. Everybody loves garlic, right? Hold on, I'm just grabbing another spoon. A nice amount of that. Now, you can also use, I have canned whole cloves of garlic before. It's absolutely divine. I personally just don't have any more in my pantry to use. I will try to remember to link that in the description. If I don't, at this point in the video, obviously I'll be in the chat, so I will link it then. Either myself or Terry will. So a good amount. It's garlic bread after all. Garlic cheese bread, right? And I'm using cheddar jack cheese. You could use mozzarella, cheddar, whatever cheese you want. This is just what I have in my fridge right now. And then I'm gonna mix this all together. And after I get this done, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so this is what the mixture looks like right now. And I know you might be saying, Chelsea, this is supposed to be cheesy garlic bread. There's hardly any cheese. Oh, don't you worry, y'all. I've got you covered. This is just what goes in the spread mixture, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna leave this on the counter, put this stuff away, and I'm gonna give a peek at the bread that's rising. All right, so this bread has been rising for about 20 minutes. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah, look at that, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so this is gonna go into a 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. You'll know it's done when you can knock on the bread and it sounds hollow, okay? Okay, so the bread is done. If you want a deeper golden crust, but listen, that's the sound you want. If you want a deeper golden crust, feel free to do an egg wash on top. I'm going to be making garlic bread out of this, so it really doesn't matter. These loaves of bread need to cool completely before we move on to our next step. So I'm just gonna leave them over there and I'm gonna get on with dinner. All right, guys, this is gonna be a case of do as I say, not as I do. So You really do want to let the bread cool completely down. However, am not doing that. I've cut it in half. One loaf in half. The other loaf is cooling on a rack. But I'm on crunch time for dinner. So we're going to take some, well, I know it's going to look like a lot. It's all right. Trust the process. Go with it. Spread. And then spread. This is going to go in the oven 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'll give it a check after 10 and I will bring you guys along the way. All right, y'all, let's check this garlic bread. So this is what we're looking for right now. I'm gonna add some, more cheese, the more better, right? The more cheese, the more better. I'm gonna put a good layer of this cheese on top and stick it back in the oven. Because this is really what makes the cheesy part. Oh, yep. The cheese bag has been opened. Prince and Gringo are here. And they are wanting the cheese tax. I'm not singing the song again, y'all, but they'll get the cheese tax. There's the cheese tax, boys. Lots of cheese. We're going to stick this baby back in the oven for about 10 minutes and then we're going to broil it. If you don't have a broil, put it on air fry. Do whatever. You just want it nice and golden brown and bubbly. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, guys, I think the bread is done. If you can hear some noise in the background, mind your business. We're having veal cutlets with pasta and marinara to go with our cheesy garlic bread tonight. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. Now, if you want, you can be all fancy and sprinkle some, ooh my, that's hot. You can sprinkle some parsley on top. I don't care what it looks like, y'all. It's gonna taste good. So, yeah. Homemade, the best homemade garlic cheese bread you're gonna get anywhere. Super easy, super delicious, and great for your holiday table. So, I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really do try this recipe. It will be linked in the description below. And as always, from my kitchen to yours, Merry Christmas and abundance and blessings to you. See you tomorrow.